You've seen this moment in every blockbuster, but it was Tolkien who gave it a name and made it sacred. Why did Marvel steal a 70-year-old idea from a dead British professor? Because this idea, it's not just for stories, it's how we survive. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. You've been the hero all along, now go prove it. Picture this. The bridge of Khazad-dûm collapses. Gandalf the Grey, battered and resolute, plummets into the abyss, his final roar of "Fly, you fools," echoing into darkness. The Fellowship scatters, hearts shattered, all seems lost. Yet days later, in the golden woods of Lothlorien, a whisper begins to stir. Look to the east, and there, atop a sunlit hill, stands Gandalf the White, reborn, radiant, utterly transformed. This isn't just a comeback, this is Eucatastrophe, Tolkien's joy beyond the walls of the world, a lightning bolt of hope that obliterates despair. But what is Eucatastrophe? Tolkien coined the term in his 1944 essay on fairy stories, calling it the sudden joyous turn, a fleeting glimpse of joy, joy beyond the walls of the world, poignant as grief. It's not a plot twist, it's a narrative miracle, a divine wink that snatches victory from the jaws of doom. Think of it as storytelling's ultimate counterpunch, when Frodo's mercy spares Gollum, or when Sam carries Frodo up Mount Doom. Choices that seem small, but ripple into cosmic salvation. But here's the rub. In a world obsessed with subverting expectations, a la Game of Thrones' Red Wedding or Ned Stark's beheading, can a story still thrill us if we know good will win? Tolkien's answer is a thunderous yes. Eucatastrophe isn't about predictability. It's about transcendence. It's the difference between shock and awe, between Ned Stark's head rolling in the dust, shock, and Samwise Gamgee, half-starved and half-mad, crying, "I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you." One leaves you gutted, the other leaves you breathless, believing in something bigger than the page. Consider Gandalf's resurrection. We know he'll return. Tolkien's mythos is steeped in resurrection motifs, from Beren and Lúthien's plea to Mandos, which won them a second life, to the eagle's interventions. Yet when Gandalf reappears as the White, it's not a cheap trick. It's a revelation. His return isn't just a wizard's revival, it's a divine realignment. As Tolkien wrote in letter number 156, Gandalf alone fully passes the test on a moral plane. His death and rebirth are a spiritual trial, a crucible that strips him of Grey's humility to arm him with White's authority, a gift from Eru Ilúvatar, Middle-earth's supreme deity. This mirrors modern tales like Avengers' Endgame, when all seems lost, half the universe dusted, heroes broken, a single phrase crackles across the comms. On your left, portals erupt, allies surge, Cap tightens his shield. It's not just fan service, it's Eucatastrophe in spandex. But where Endgame relies on human ingenuity, Tolkien's grace is divine, a distinction that elevates Gandalf's return from spectacle to sacrament. Gandalf's rebirth isn't merely a victory lap, it's a confession. The Grey's humility, while noble, couldn't withstand Sauron's nihilism. The White's power, granted by Eru, isn't a reward, it's a burden. I am Gandalf, Gandalf the White, but black is mightier still, he warns Theoden, acknowledging the cost of his ascension. Yet this is just the tip of the spear. If Gandalf's resurrection is Eucatastrophe's spark, what happens when the flame spreads? How does a hobbit's pity for a wretched creature like Gollum become the fuse that saves Middle-earth? And why did Tolkien call this idea the birth of Christ in the Gospels? The answer lies not in grand armies, but in small hands, hidden choices, and the quiet courage to believe that even the smallest person can change the course of the future. Eucatastrophe doesn't just happen, it's earned, not through strength or strategy, but through vulnerability. And nowhere is this clearer than in Frodo Baggins' journey to Mount Doom. By the time Frodo and Sam reach the slopes of Orodruin, the ring's weight has become unbearable. Frodo, once a cheerful hobbit of the Shire, is now a shadow of himself. His body is broken, his spirit frayed. The ring's whispers have grown deafening. You cannot resist me. You were meant to be mine. Even Sam, ever the optimist, can see the truth. Frodo is no longer the master of the ring. He is its slave. And yet, they press on. Step by agonizing step, they climb the ashen slopes, the air thick with sulfur and despair. The fate of Middle-earth hangs on a single, fragile thread. Frodo's ability to cast the ring into the fire. But here's the twist. Frodo fails. At the very edge of the cracks of doom, with the ring's destruction within reach, Frodo turns. "I do not choose to do this," he declares, his voice hollow, his eyes glazed. The ring has won. This moment is devastating. After thousands of miles, countless sacrifices, and immeasurable suffering, the hero falls. It's a gut punch that feels all too real, because it is. Tolkien, a veteran of World War I, knew firsthand how even the bravest can break under the weight of evil. But this isn't the end. Enter Gollum, the wretched creature, driven by his own obsession with the ring, attacks Frodo. In a frenzied struggle, he bites off Frodo's finger and reclaims his precious. For a moment, Gollum stands triumphant, dancing on the edge of the abyss. And then, he falls. The ring, with all its malice and might, plunges into the fire. Sauron's power crumbles. Middle-earth is saved. But here's the miracle. Frodo's failure is the victory. His mercy, sparing Gollum earlier in the journey, becomes the thread that unravels Sauron's doom. As Tolkien wrote in letter number 246, the salvation of the world depends on Gollum's presence and actions. This is Eucatastrophe in its purest form. A moment where despair is not just defeated, but redeemed. Gollum, the embodiment of corruption, becomes the unwitting instrument of salvation. Frodo's compassion, seemingly foolish at the time, proves to be the key. But why did Tolkien choose this path? Why hinge the fate of Middle-earth on a creature as broken as Gollum? The answer lies in Tolkien's belief in grace, a force that operates beyond logic, beyond merit, beyond even the best-laid plans. Gollum's fall isn't just a plot device, it's a testament to the idea that no one, no matter how fallen, is beyond the reach of redemption. And this raises a deeper question. If Gollum's actions can save the world, what does that mean for the rest of us? What hidden threads of grace are woven into our own stories, waiting to be pulled? Gollum is Middle-earth's paradox, a creature so corrupted by the ring that even his name splits in two. Smeagol, the hobbit he once was, and Gollum, the monster he became. Yet Tolkien insists his story isn't a tragedy. It's a testament to grace, the unearned, unwelcome gift that shines brightest in the darkest souls. When Frodo spares Gollum's life in the Emin Muir, it's not because he trusts him, it's because he pities him. Many that live deserve death, Gandalf warns Frodo early in the quest, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Frodo can't, but he can offer something just as radical: mercy without conditions. Gollum's journey with Frodo and Sam is a dance between two futures. In rare moments, Smeagol flickers to life. He gags at the taste of rabbit stew, rejecting his old cruel ways. He weeps when Frodo calls him by his true name, Smeagol, I will. He vows to protect the ring-bearer even as Gollum hisses betrayal. But every flicker of light deepens the shadow. The closer they get to Mordor, the more Gollum's duality tears him apart. In the Dead Marshes, he nearly betrays them to Shelob. At the stairs of Cirith Ungol, he caves to the ring's call. The tension isn't just will Gollum betray them, it's can grace survive in someone so broken? The answer is both heartbreaking and transcendent. At Mount Doom, Gollum's final act isn't redemption, it's ruin. He attacks Frodo, bites off his finger, and reclaims the ring. For a heartbeat, he's ecstatic, precious, ours at last. But in his triumph, he stumbles. The ring and Gollum plunge into the fire. Tolkien's genius here is brutal. Gollum doesn't choose goodness. He dies as he lived, a slave to the ring. Yet his fall saves Middle-earth. Why? Because Frodo's mercy gave him a role to play, however unwillingly. As Tolkien wrote in Letter 181, the domination of the ring was too strong for anyone to reject. Frodo deserved all honor, but he failed. And the salvation was achieved by grace alone. This is grace in its rawest form, unmerited, unearned, and operating beyond moral ledger books. Gollum isn't redeemed, he's used. And in that, Tolkien mirrors a hard truth. Sometimes, salvation comes not through heroes or saints, but through the cracked vessels we'd least expect. But if grace can work through Gollum, what does that mean for us? Can we trust that our own failures, our own cracks, might still serve a greater good? The answer lies not in Middle-earth, but in our world, where Tolkien's idea of Eucatastrophe isn't fantasy, but a lifeline. Tolkien wrote The Lord of the Rings in the shadow of 2 world wars, as fascism darkened Europe and atomic clouds loomed. Yet Middle-earth's darkest hour birthed its brightest hope, not as escapism, but as rebellion. Eucatastrophe isn't just a plot device, it's a survival tactic for the soul. But how do we reconcile this with our world? A world where pandemics paralyze, wars rage, and injustice festers. Can a sudden joyous turn feel like anything but fantasy? The answer lies in Tolkien's own life, and ours. Eucatastrophe isn't denial, it's defiance. 1914. In the frozen trenches of World War I, enemy soldiers laid down arms to sing carols, a fleeting truce where joy outgunned hatred. 1945. As Hiroshima smoldered, Tolkien wrote, I will not say, do not weep, for not all tears are an evil. Grief as a bridge to hope. 1955. When Rosa Parks refused to surrender her seat, a bus became a battleground. A quiet no, roaring into a movement. 1989. As the Berlin Wall crumbled, a choir's hallelujah rose from the rubble, harmony conquering discord. 1994. Nelson Mandela, once imprisoned, stood presidential. Chains shattered into bridges. 2020. Italians serenaded empty streets from balconies, songs stitching a fractured world. 2022. Ukrainian musicians played in bomb shelters, melodies as armor against despair. These are our Eucatastrophes, not tidy victories, but stubborn flickers of light that outlast the dark. And this is Tolkien's secret. Eucatastrophe isn't about endings, it's about eyesight. It's the choice to see Sam's star above Mordor, white and cold, but beautiful, even when the world burns. So here's the final test. When your own Mount Doom looms, will you watch for eagles? Or will you be the eagle for someone else? Marvel's portals, Tolkien's eagles, they're the same song. A chorus that says, not today, darkness. But here's the secret Gandalf never told you. Eucatastrophe isn't their magic, it's yours. For every Avengers assemble, there's a single mum working 3 jobs. For every Gandalf reborn, there's a stranger paying for your coffee. For every Gollum's fall, there's a quiet "I forgive you" that heals a wound you couldn't see. So go. Be stubborn. Be kind. Be the hand that pulls someone from the abyss. Because the greatest Eucatastrophe isn't in books or battles. It's in the breath you take right now, and the choice to make it matter.